Hacks, episode number 89. My name is Krista, and I'm your host. It's October 16th, 2024, and as we're nearing Halloween and all of the other holidays just around the corner, with many of us snapping tons of photos and sharing them on our favorite social media platforms of choice, I have to share a bit of my own personal cautionary tale with you. Back in December 2021, my Facebook and Instagram accounts were hacked in an irrecoverable way. It was one of those moments where your heart drops because these platforms weren't just apps, they were filled with years of important photos, videos, and precious memories that I thought were safe. I was locked out, and it hit me hard that all of those irreplaceable moments, birthday parties, family trips, other milestones were suddenly obliterated. That experience led me to rethink how we as moms store our family's most treasured memories. So today, we're diving deep into why social media is not, hear me loud and clear, social media isn't the place to keep those precious memories or establish true connections with friends and family, and what we can do instead to protect them. But before we get into all that, I just want to say thanks for tuning in, Mama. I started this podcast because babies don't come with instructions. As of this recording, I'm chasing around a 6-year-old that no amount of Googling, mom groups, or books were able to prepare me for. There's a lot of stuff people don't talk about when it comes to pre pregnancy, during pregnancy, postpartum, parenting, and all that follows. And as someone who was previously terrified of all of the above, I'm here to help you pull back the curtain on all of it. And every now and then, it may get a little messy. We may share a little TMI, but that's why you're here, right? My goal is you'll leave every episode feeling refreshed, inspired, and hopeful, knowing you're not on this mom journey alone. Now, there's a lot of subject matter to cover when it comes to mom life, and we are covering it all. If you're not following this podcast yet, make sure you hit that follow or subscribe button wherever you listen to podcasts so you don't miss a single episode. Now, let me take you back to December 2021. It was just like any other evening, and I clicked the Facebook app on my phone to check notifications I may have missed from earlier in the day. But instead of seeing the usual notification feed, I was met with a message. Your password has been changed. Instantly, I felt a pit in my stomach. I tried Instagram next, hoping it was just a glitch, but the same thing happened. Locked out. At first, I thought it might be an issue with my phone or a connection problem, but after multiple failed attempts, reality set in. I had been hacked. I attempted to reset my password, and unfortunately, like many busy moms, I hadn't paid much attention to using complex passwords or enabling two-factor authentication, and that's where things went wrong. And frankly, I have to call out Facebook, or Meta, rather, I guess it's now called. They may have a customer service department or an investigations team, but unless you're one of their paying ad customers, which I was not, your inquiries go unanswered. Long story short, at one point over a decade ago, I was managing Facebook ads for someone. So there were some expired debit cards and a PayPal account attached to the page I had managed from my Facebook profile. The hacker somehow infiltrated my Facebook account and started attempting to run Facebook ads and charge them to those payment methods on file. Thankfully, the cards declined because, as I mentioned, they were expired, but my PayPal account was still active. So when I got the notice for charges to PayPal, I immediately called them and they stopped further payments from Facebook. My continued attempts to contact Facebook went unanswered, and my account was essentially put on hold until I could verify my identity through text message. Whatever the hacker did to my account diverted those text verifications so I could never ultimately verify my identity. I watched for 30 days as my account sat in Facebook jail and ultimately was deactivated and deleted. The aftermath was crushing. Years of photos, videos, heartfelt posts gone. I couldn't access messages from family members, groups where I was connected with other moms and old classmates from high school, college, etc. And worst of all, I had no way to get into the countless albums that stored so many important moments. I suddenly realized that for years I had relied on these platforms as my digital scrapbook, and in an instant, all of that disappeared. I felt lost, panicked, and honestly a bit foolish for putting so much trust in these platforms. And it was a harsh wake up call that social media should not be the home for my family's memories. And I'd caution you to consider the same. So let's talk about the risks of using social media as the primary home for your family photos and memories. First off, lack of control. Platforms like Facebook and Instagram, while convenient, have their own rules, algorithms, and policies. You don't own the space or content you post. Look closely at the terms and conditions you agree to when you sign up for an account. One day, your family photos could be at the top of the feed, and the next, buried under an endless stream of ads and irrelevant posts. Even worse, if your account gets flagged or reported, whether it's legitimate or not, access to your content can be restricted or removed, sometimes without warning. Imagine years of memories just disappearing from your timeline without any say in it. That's exactly what happened to me. And then there's privacy. It's no secret that these platforms collect your personal data. But when your accounts are compromised, the consequences can be far reaching. Not only can hackers access your photos, but they can also get their hands on sensitive information, including private messages, location history, and family connections. So now it's not just about stolen moments, it's about potential identity theft, phishing scams, or having your family's privacy violated in ways you might not even be aware of. Lastly, the temporary nature of social platforms is something we often overlook. Just because these platforms seem permanent today doesn't mean they will be around forever. I mean, remember MySpace? It was once the place to store your photos, and now it's practically a ghost town. Or even look at how these platforms constantly change: sudden algorithm shifts, new privacy policies, or worse, a platform wide outage. If these sites were to shut down tomorrow or lock you out for good, what happens to all those memories, all those firsts, first steps, first words, family vacations? Think of all the time so many of us invest in these platforms. All of that could be lost. So, this really got me thinking, is it worth taking that risk for something so precious? So, what's the solution? How can we protect our family memories while still sharing them with the people who matter most? Let's dive into a few alternatives to relying solely on social media. First off, consider using cloud storage services like Google Photos, Dropbox, or Apple iCloud. These platforms are designed for backing up your digital memories securely. And the great thing about these options is that your photos are stored in the cloud. So even if your device is lost or damaged or an account is hacked, your memories are still safe. Plus, with these services, you have much more control over who sees your photos, and you can easily organize and search for specific memories, like that beach trip from 3 years ago or your child's fourth birthday party. They're not buried under an endless social media feed. Another option that might feel a little old school but is equally important is physical backups. There's something timeless about printing out your favorite photos and creating albums or scrapbooks. It's a tangible way to preserve memories that can't be wiped out by a hacker or deleted by accident. Not to mention, flipping through a physical photo album as a family is an experience that digital just can't replicate. You can also invest in external hard drives to store digital versions of your photos. Just be sure to back those up regularly too. And for those of you who love sharing your memories with loved ones but want to do so securely, consider using private sharing platforms, family blogs, private group chats through text message, or even specialized photo sharing apps to share moments privately with only your closest family and friends. These platforms give you much more control over who has access to your family photos and allow you to curate the moments you want to share without broadcasting them to the world. Ultimately, it's about finding a balance between preserving those precious memories and making sure they're not at risk of being lost or compromised. Social media may seem convenient, but with a little extra effort, you can ensure that your family's history is kept safe and sound. So, now that we've talked about alternatives to social media, let's shift gears a bit and focus on how to protect your digital presence if you do continue using platforms like Facebook, Instagram, etc. Because even if we store our most precious family memories elsewhere, it's still important to keep our online accounts secure. First up, let's talk security. The easiest and most effective way to enhance the security of your accounts is to use strong, unique passwords. I know, we've all been guilty of using the same password across multiple accounts. I am over here raising my hand. You cannot see me, but that was me. And guys, this is a hacker's dream. Use a password manager if you need help keeping track of different logins, and make sure each password is a mix of letters, numbers, and special characters. And if you're not sure what I'm talking about, just search password manager and you will find a host of options. I promise you, this may seem inconvenient, but you're not left trying to remember dozens and dozens of passwords. All of them are stored securely in this password manager. Next, turn on two-factor authentication. This is an extra layer of security that requires you to enter a code sent to your phone or email before logging in. Even if someone gets a hold of your password, they'll be stopped in their tracks without the two-factor authentication code. Trust me, this simple step can go a long way in keeping your account safe, and it's unfortunately something I didn't have set up originally that could have prevented my victimized Facebook account. Now, when it comes to your social media accounts, don't forget to regularly monitor them for any unusual activity. Hackers often make subtle changes first, like changing your email address or phone number linked to your account. These changes may seem small, but they give hackers more control. Make it a habit to check your account settings every now and then to ensure everything looks as it should. Another key factor in protecting your digital presence is educating your family, especially kids and older relatives, about digital safety. We're all connected online, and often one family member's account getting hacked can put the rest of us at risk. So, talk to your family about the importance of using strong passwords, recognizing phishing attempts, and being cautious when sharing personal information online. It's a collective effort, and when everyone's on the same page, you're all better protected. Social media is still part of our lives and it's not going anywhere anytime soon. But by taking these steps, you can significantly reduce your risk and keep your online presence and your family safe. Let's quickly recap the key points we've covered. First, we talked about the very real dangers of relying on social media as the sole places for storing precious memories. The risk of hacking, privacy violations, and even the sudden shutdown of these platforms could mean losing years of precious moments. Then we discussed alternatives like iCloud storage, creating physical photo albums, or using private sharing platforms to keep those memories safe and secure. Finally, we touched on ways to protect your digital presence if you continue to use social media: strong passwords, two factor authentication, and regular account monitoring. Those are all simple yet essential steps to take. So it's time to take action. If you've been relying on social media for your family photos and maintaining family connections, I encourage you to reassess your approach. think about where your most cherished moments are stored and take steps today to ensure they're truly protected. And before we'd sign off, I'd love to hear from you. What are your experiences with social media? Have you had a similar situation with your accounts? Maybe you have a favorite method for keeping family memories safe. Share your thoughts with me on social media. You can find me across all platforms at Secret Mom Hacks. You can also go to the website and send me a message, secretmomhacks.com. Let's keep this conversation going and help each other create safer, more secure ways to protect our family memories. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Secret Mom Hacks. I appreciate you spending time with me today and hope you found today's topic helpful. If that's the case, please follow me on your favorite podcast platform if you haven't already. Give me a 5-star rating and leave a review sharing your favorite takeaway so far. You can do all of that by going to ratethispodcast.com/secretmomhacks. Don't forget to stop by secretmomhacks.com where you can find transcripts, resources, and more. Make sure you enter your email address over there and subscribe for free so every episode is delivered straight to your inbox. Stay tuned for next week's episode, and until then, you've got this, mama.